Welcome back to the Jacob McLaughlin podcast and radio show. Hope you guys are having a great day. As you guys can see, if you're watching on Instagram or YouTube, that I am in a new little setting. I'm actually here at work at JSF that I work in, a cool little painting of Arnold in the background that one of Jeremy's fans painted for him. So that's always a cool little picture that we get to see every time we walk in. If you guys are listening on the podcast, I really appreciate you guys tuning in. It really means a lot for you guys to always just be viewing or listening, and you guys just taking the time to hang out with me. It means a lot. Before we jump in, summer is here in Phoenix, Arizona, more specifically Scottsdale. We are hitting the 115s, 112s, 111s all week. I got a little time to go last week to Sacramento for about 2 days to get into the 70s again, which was a nice little relaxing break for me. But now we're back to reality and time to get back to the normal life of living in Phoenix. In today's podcast, I wanted to go over a blog that I've written. I put it out on my website. If you guys haven't ever checked it out, it's just JacobMcLaughlinFitness.com, just like the podcast is. So JacobMcLaughlinFitness.com, I have it on there. I also have a Facebook page that you guys can always do, same exact name. Just if you guys ever want to see my post and my things that I'm writing about, that I'm sharing workouts. I try to share at least a couple workouts a week. If you guys don't follow me already on Instagram, if you guys are on YouTube or the podcast at just JM Fitness 1, or if you put Jacob McLaughlin Fitness, that will come in. And I put content out daily on Instagram, making sure that you guys are getting videos that are going to help you guys with your goals. I try to share a little difference of, like, I do more bodybuilding kind of style of lifting, but with also strength work and mobility and all that good stuff. So I'll throw a lot of that on there, and I'll also throw in some like finishers, fat loss kind of workouts, more of that Metcon style as well, just because everybody has their own little taste and likes a little bit different. So if you guys haven't ever checked me out on any of those platforms, there you guys have the opportunity to now. But jumping into the blog that I wrote today, it was going over daily habits that lead to success. And I think this is something that we don't talk about so much, because it's just like, oh, I'm going to go through the day. I'm just going to try to make it through every single moment, and it's all going to fall into place. And I hear that all the time, especially being a younger dude. We come from like they'll put on the millennials. They'll say, oh, these people don't know what they're doing. And a lot of times I'll be like, hey, what are you guys planning? What's your kind of like 3-year, 5-year goal, all that good stuff? And it's, I don't know. I'm gonna just hang out. I'm just gonna kind of see where the world takes me. And even though that's cool, in retrospect, it's like, if you're not working for anything, then where are you going? I actually just heard a quote today on a podcast that I was listening to, and it's like, if you're not aiming for anything, you'll land up somewhere. And that's like the truth of it, is like, if you don't have a goal, if you're not going for something, then you're just kind of like going in squiggly lines or in circles, because you don't know where you are going or what you're trying to do. So I think the biggest thing is just, first off, before you can define success, success is different to every single person. It's never going to be the same, but you got to define for yourself what is success. And then when you get that defined, then you got to look at, okay, how am I going to get there? And all it is a roadmap. Every time we try to do things, we try to like, I'm going to work to this. But what you really should do is you find a goal, and then you work back from it. Okay, if this is where I want to be, how do I get there? So this is the end point, this is the start point. How do I connect the dots? And you just work backwards on, okay, I would need to do this. And that's how we kind of get into it. But what I have written down on my blog is like, we have to improve the health to start out with anything, because if you're not healthy, you're not going to be where you want to be anywhere in life, no matter how much money, because I've dealt with a lot of people who make a lot of money who are like not healthy, and they're miserable, and they wish they would just have their health. So I always just think health is number one, just because it is my career and what I do, but I teach it because it's like, it's the most important thing you have. I've told this to several people. You can go buy a new house, you can go buy a new car, you can go get something other than that, but you only get one body. You're not getting anything new, so why not take care of it? It's the one thing in your whole life that you're going to have forever, and it's going to affect how you feel, how you function, how you do everything, because it's the only one we get. So that's why I always come into health. But like just looking at my notes that I have on here, I always put that you have to be willing to change. You have to be willing to change the way you eat, you sleep, you train, you handle stress, and you manage your time if you want to really lead to the daily habits that are going to go to success. And the reason I say that is if you're not fueling your body well, you're going to feel like crap. If you're not sleeping well, you're going to feel like crap. And it all comes to, if you're not training well, okay, we're not getting the desired effect we're going for. Handling stress is one of the biggest things in America. We're more stressed than ever before. And if you're not handling it, if you're not managing it, which exercise is a great way to do it, then what are you going to do? And a lot of people will turn to alcohol, they'll turn to drugs, they'll turn to something that's an unhealthy way that actually destroys their body instead of improves it. And then also I think this is the number one thing for me, managing time. And I can say this because of myself. I used to sit hours on top of hours just looking at my phone, scrolling through Instagram, Facebook, all the different little platforms, and I just waste my day on it. And instead of being productive, I'm wasting my time looking at other people doing things that really, to be honest, I don't care about. So it's like, why are you going to waste your time doing that? And then I think it also comes into managing your time. It's also respecting other people's times, and I'm big on this just because I am a trainer. I have people cancel on me, and I get it. That's life. You can't control that. If someone's kid's sick that day or something, it happens. But if you're that person who shows up late every single time by 5, 6, 7 minutes, that's just showing that you don't respect the other person's time that you're trying to meet with. Because again, that means you're doing it religiously. You're doing it over and over. Stop being 5 minutes, leave the house 5 minutes early, and then you'll be on time. It's not that hard. And so I think managing your time is just a big thing, because not just meeting other people, but everybody has time. And that's the thing. Everybody has time. It's free. It doesn't cost anything. But if you don't manage it, it will turn your life. And I just say that because if you're that person who is managing your time correctly and you're that person who's not, you're going to have two different outcomes on life. So I just say that to kind of get us started into the blog. That's kind of how I have it written down. But I kind of want to go in more detail on the podcast. And so just starting off, I think routines are huge for the daily habits that are leading to success. I think routines are massive because what you do and how you start your day is gonna put the tone or set the tone for your day. So if you guys wake up and you're like me a lot of times, and I used to go and I'd just sit on my phone for 30 minutes, and then I'm like, oh, I just wasted 30 minutes of my day and I haven't done anything. I just looked at stuff that doesn't even matter. That it just sets such a terrible tone for the day. So one thing I've been trying to be better at is right when I wake up, check my phone just to see what time it is if I don't have an alarm set, or if I have my alarm set, just make sure there's nothing crazy that I need to attend to right away. And then it's just get out of bed. Get out of bed, go downstairs, start cooking some breakfast for myself. Some people don't eat that early, that's good. But I just will start doing that. I was on a stint where I used to read. I read for 10 minutes in the morning. The only thing is when you're trying to wake up and then your eyes are going, it didn't work so hot for me. So that's why I'm I just got to get up. I got to get out of bed and just get moving. So that for me, I think that's huge. Just how you start your day. Some people it's meditation. Some people, it's just having alone time, sitting outside. It's just reading a book. It's just doing something for you to start the day, to get your mind in the proper place. So I think what you guys start your day with is going to be huge on how successful the day is actually going to be. And then moving in throughout the day, that's where I put the eat, the sleep, the train, the handle stress, and the manage the time. That's the things that when you go through the whole day, you got to do all these. I think if you do all these things correctly, your days will be so much more productive. They'll be so much more successful, and you'll be way more happier. Because if you eat like you love yourself, like Jeremy always says, eat like you love yourself, you're going to feel so much better. If you're just eating crap all day, you're eating the stuff that maybe tastes good, but then an hour later you feel like you're going to die because you just ate a bunch of junk. That's not setting you up for success. Even with the sleep, I know a lot of people are like parents, and I respect that. I'm not a parent. I work with kids, but I have them for a little bit, then I take them back and give them to the parents. But with the sleep, sleeping is one of the most important things, and it's also where you recover the best. If you're injured, or if you're having you go and beat yourself up in the gym, you don't get bigger in the gym. You actually get smaller. You get bigger when you sleep. You get repaired. Your body goes back and repairs those muscles. It's the same thing for your body. You just need that sleep to get you in the right state, because if you just wake up and you're groggy, you're not clear, again, what is that setting that day for? And then with training, I think everybody should move 30 minutes every single day. And I'm not saying that you have to lift weights, you have to do heavy squats, deadlift, rows, all that. No, I'm just saying walk, walk for 30 minutes, move, get the heart rate up, try to get it above 100, just moving. So I think that's just something that's important to everybody, because again, in America, we don't move ever, but just the benefits of exercising, the benefits of getting your heart rate up, what it can do for your body, but not just your body, what it can do for your brain and your hormones and everything that comes with it. I think it's super important that we just add that into our day. And then just finding what works best. Again, this is about finding what works best for you and routines. What I do doesn't work for some people, and what they do wouldn't work for me, right? So like handling stress. What do you got to handle stress? That's for me. Working out is like a two combo. Like when I'm stressed, I'll just go work out, because it lets me think. I tell people it's my alone time. When I'm in the gym, I may have headphones going or my music going in my headphones, but I'm thinking the whole time, and I'm just going over like scenarios that I'm stressed with, or kind of talking it through. So that's a big thing for me, just being able to get through and work through certain things that I might have going on in my life at that point. And then also just like, trying to understand that sometimes I can't control things. So it's just like, okay, you might be frustrated, you might be mad or sad or whatever it is, but just when I go and work out, you have the endorphins that kick in afterwards. You feel accomplished after you work out, and I think that can help with some of the stress. And then managing your time, like we're all busy. I always tell people, I laugh when I hear people, they're like, oh, sorry, I can't do something, I just don't have the time. I'm like, all right, Fred, I woke up at 4 a.m. too. We're all busy. We all have things going on in our life. But how are you managing your time? Because this is what I just tell people. It stands true to this day. It's never been wrong. If it's important to you, you'll find time. If losing weight is that important to you, you will find time to work out. It's just as simple as that. It could be waking up at 4:30 in the morning. It could be working out at 8 o'clock at night. It might be doing a 30-minute stint at lunchtime. You can find the time, because I guarantee you, you're sitting there watching this on YouTube or on Instagram or whatever, you have the time to go do something else. You're just choosing not to. So whatever that goal or what you're working towards, you always have the time, but you just have to be mindful of how you're managing your time. I'm not saying don't ever watch YouTube or Instagram or whatever it is. Like I have to do that, where I'm like, okay, I'm gonna block myself out here. Or every night I go to bed, I'm gonna watch The Office. I love The Office. If you don't, we can't be friends, but I'm just kidding. I love it though, that much. But I think you guys just finding routines will work for you. So going like in that morning routine, and then even that evening routine, like I said, if I stay up past like 8 or 9 and I'm doing like business stuff or work stuff or thinking about ideas, then I can't sleep. My brain just doesn't shut off. So like, as funny as it sounds, I have to turn on The Office at like around 8 or 9 o'clock and just watch something that my brain doesn't have to think that's so stupid, that I can laugh at, and I just don't have to worry about anything. So like, that's what works for me. What works for me won't work for someone else. I used to never be able to watch TV before I go to bed, because then my brain wouldn't let me shut off. But now I can, and it's just like, okay, I try to go to bed around the same time every night. I try to stay in a similar routine, because your body actually loves routine, and they've done a bunch of studies that like your body will actually wake up within a minute of its time every single day if you got into a routine. Like some people, like it used to be for me, it's the weirdest time, but it was 5:17 a.m. I woke up, didn't matter if I went to bed at 8 p.m. or if I went to bed at midnight. 5:17 a.m. I woke up every single time. So again, it's just trying to find that routine. So I try to get myself in a routine so I can set myself up for success. But to end this whole podcast, to end everything that I'm going on about right now with the daily habits, I just want you guys to understand that like it's the daily habits. When I say daily habits lead to success, it's doing something repetitively that's going to end up landing you to the success point that you're going. That will end up getting you to your goal. It's doing stuff day in, day out, every single day. That's going to just add up, and it's gonna make a difference. And I say that because Jeremy has been an amazing mentor for me. And one of the things I will never forget, and it's in my brain since the day he's told me, is if you do something for yourself every single day, for your business, if you do one thing every single day, it may not mean that much in a week, but just think in a year, 2 years, and 5 years. The compounding effect. And It's just what you do. Like if I put out a piece of content every day for 5 years, it doesn't seem like that much now. But in 5 years, I look back and like I can look at my YouTube and be like, okay, I got all these exercises on here. Oh, I got all these videos that I can go and share with people. And now you need a program? Oh, I already have this one written up. That's exactly what you need. And that was in year 1. You know what I mean? So it's just like the compounding effect. So when you're doing these daily things, I know it can sometimes be a grind of like, oh, why am I doing this? Or, oh my gosh, it's so repetitive. But it's that repetitive that adds up and finally compounds into what you're looking for your goal. So I just want to throw that out there, you guys. I think it's super important to have daily habits that are going to help you reach your goals and just going to make it to you. And I just always preface it like, you have to find what works for you, because like I've said several times in this podcast, what works for me isn't going to work for you, because we're different people.